Not much into this is the fact that of recent we had a lady murdered by the names of Susan Magara. Magara was murdered around January, February, around there. And Magara has barely lasted 3 months in the grave. And Uganda is mourning another lady who got lost on Friday and murdered on Saturday. Now here we are as a nation. All is fine. We are listening to everything. It looks normal. It looks normal simply because it has not yet stepped on your doorway. Why is it now a contentious issue? Why should we look at it with seriously? Why should we look at it with keenness? It's because these killings are not new. The way these killings are not done in a much unique way. They do all of them in a related way. You find Magara, they abducted her. The killers demanded for a ransom of amount of money. The family kept struggling. At the end of the day, when they failed to deliver the money that the other people wanted, she was gotten dead 21 days. And we looked for her. The nation looked for her. The security forces looked for her. But at the end of the day, we ended up having her body, not a person, but her body returned and gotten and buried. Some few weeks, we hear of a lady called Charity in Machindie, same thing, abducted. After being taken, the killers demand for a certain amount of money, and that was 5 million shillings. 5 million shillings. Someone out there watching TV could be saying, just 5 million shillings. That is you. Not everyone has a 5 million shillings. You understand how our economy is. People are struggling. Money is concentrated in a few hands. Now, when the family failed to raise these 5 million shillings, it was so absurd that the killers moved a mile and had to end a life of this woman. She's 32 years of age. Now, today, I would like us to expedite on this and find out. Let's have an interaction. Today, we want to view back at the fact and reality that Uganda Police Force got a new change of leadership immediately due to the fact that there was believed that the tensions between the two people in charge of security, that was General Heli Tumwine, General Tumukunde and General Kaihura, had caused a rift in the security scene, and it had moved a mile to cost lives according to the corridors of power. But later on we saw Ochora coming in as the new IGP, deputized by Muzei Sabiti, who was transferred from SFC to take on the new mantle as the deputy IGP in the Uganda Police Force. At the same time, we saw Eli Tumwine coming in to replace General Tumukunde, yes, at the helm of the Ministry of Security. The question we have on ground is, do you think the change of guards can bring the sanity we want? Or it's already a failure since we're seeing murders continue? I want to begin with my colleague from my right. Yes.
Well, the issue about...
you can feel free, first introduce yourself.
Yes. My name is Oboth Fred, and what I do for a living is I'm a salesman with Uganda Breweries.
Are you a salesman?
Yes, sure.
Oh, you're like me, I was once a salesman.
And it's a good profession. I'm afraid most of the youths out there don't really admire it.
No, they feel that there's a lot of
well, if to talk about the new killings and the change of the guards, and we see Ochola coming in, replacing the old Kaihura, who had been in the system for so long. But we still see these killings going on. Could we say that these killings are motivated by unemployment, that people are poor and there are hitmen out there for hire who are motivated by financial gain, that they could make a quick buck and get out there and kill anybody at some small money you give them, and they go out there, they kill for you? I think it's too early for us to assume, to even think about, or even celebrating that they've changed the guards, because what I'm looking at here is, well, Kaihura is out and they've brought in a new person. However, his first role we've seen him do is try to undo what Kaihura did. He is reinstalling in people that Kaihura had put on the bench.
I saw patrol cars moving that used not to move. Where in the night, actually.
Yes. Now, with that on our table, and the killings are still going on, I think there has to be a lot done about this, and we need to really focus resources on getting to know what is the motivation behind the killings. Is it financial? Is this pointing to a rotting piece in the force that has not been tackled? That really needs to be followed up, given that we really have to find out what is happening. What is in the force that is not being done right?
Thank you so much, Comrade Obo. I want to turn to my left-hand side. Do you think if we move ahead to compel Parliament to approve the budget that police has put on our table to buy the cameras that must be put everywhere for security, do you think the killings in the city and around the country will be reduced?
Anyway, before I go to the subject matter, I would like to introduce myself.
Okay.
I'm called Ibikiro Moses, the regional representative of DP, Soga Sub-Region. But before I go on the subject matter...
and add there that the confidant of Sejusa. Okay, all right.
Yeah. I would like to call the attention of the relevant authority in Wakiso district that the Usaura Road is now, the remaining option we are remaining with is to make our own Republic of Usaura.
Hey, you guys, how much you want to divide the country? Because Kawempe also
has a district there.
But as we talk now, we are not feeling the benefits of Uganda.
But you have health centers that the government has put in there.
There is nothing totally. They are individual.
Electricity,
they are on and off.
security in that area of Usawana.
If you don't have a road, how can you have security? So our health status is really very bad. We are in the sorry state, and we need the attention of the so-called Republic of Uganda. We need to feel the service delivery from the Republic of Uganda. Otherwise, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we are going
to break away.
Yes.
Have your own army.
That's the only option we have.
I love this early morning joke.
Back to the subject matter of Parliament approving the huge budget to finance the operations of
60
police.
billion, actually.
60 billion.
They are now asking for 60 billion from 500.
Yeah.
No, the financial aid is 500 billion. They are now asking for a supplementary budget of 60 billion. Install cameras around the world. I mean, around the country. I think you remember the other time we were here with the other colleague of ours,
Bernard.
And for me, I told the viewers that I dissociate myself with those people who are celebrating the outgoing IGP.
Kaihura.
For them, they thought that Kaihura is the problem. And I saw even FDC youth trying to celebrate the downfall of the former IGP and trying to really to praise Lieutenant General Tumukunde. For me, I dissociate with such people, and I know the problem where it comes from. Because in Uganda, where the economy, in political science, there is a rule. It is an unwritten rule, but they call it 80-20 rule.
80-20 rule.
Yes. That is whereby 20 people own is the 80 wealth of the what? 20% of the population own is 80% of the what?
The wealth.
The wealth of the country. So in such an economy, you cannot avoid violence, you cannot avoid criminality, you cannot avoid child abuse, you cannot avoid each and everything in the human life.
Are you trying to say that Uganda's problem is the current economic trend? It's not actually the problem of security. Security is trying their best, but the problem is in the economy.
Definitely.
Okay.
Because 75% of the youth are unemployed.
But they actually put it at 83%.
Yes. To
Unemployment
give you an example, my brother, Yesterday, but one. My car was vandalized.
Vandalized.
Yes, it was vandalized. But
Is it by government officials or your fellow guys who are struggling with you for DP?
by fellow youth. By fellow youth. But they were looking for survival.
Yes, so you
And
forgive
I did not
them.
even report the police because I know I cannot get any help from police. They cannot investigate any case to its conclusion. They cannot come up with any report.
No, but Moses, when you look at reality, there are cases that police have investigated and have come out and presented reports. I can give you a simple example. There is these international people who died in Kampala hotels. Actually, 2 days after those guys had died, Kahura had come out with a report. It was actually one of the best reports.
No,
ever.
that was not a report. It is a contradicting report because there is ISO.
Okay.
The ISO guys also came up with a report, really watering down the report of the police. So which report is valid now, of which we can rely on?
There was belief that by that time there was fighting in security forces.
No, but
They were sharing intelligence.
They are accountable.
Yeah,
Those officers, they are working on behalf of the Ugandans. So they are not supposed to joke and bring their personal issues and personal feelings while executing official duties. So in that scenario, for me, I think that the moment President Museveni ran out of ideas, even if he's still having power in his hands, but he have to accept that he have run out of ideas. And it is high time to give space for new ideas. I was listening to a certain recording from Professor Lumumba, one for Kenya.
Yes.
He's an inspirational speaker. He was addressing students from Nairobi University, and he said that the problem with Africa is that those who are having ideas, they don't have powers. And those who have powers, they have run out of ideas. And what's amazing is that the population really sympathizes with those with powers, but sufficient ideas.
The biggest challenge is, okay, now, when we look at Uganda's trend, you could be having a point somewhere. But when we look at, we're going to get back to the economy of the country, statistics are trying to show that Ugandans have tried to move a mile a bit because most times development is gauged on a few things. Yes, we cannot rule out that health has a challenge, but like things like rural electrification, I think we've made strides. And we haven't gotten.
Don't talk about rural electrification when you are with the Vigirwa here who comes from Soga.
And brother, actually, you are the guys at the center of electricity.
Yes, we are the generators of electricity.
Are you not proud being near Bujagali?
We are not proud at all.
Being near Karuma?
Because in Busoga, if you move around, it is 45%. Actually, it would have been Busoga first before anything. Before anyone gets electricity.
Moses, do you know why
you go to Wiyende, you go to Ruka, you go to Namutumba, and even in Kamuli where the speaker comes, even in the municipality.
Okay, the fact is this.
Yes.
I have not yet toured Busoga region deeply. I've been always to Jinja, Iganga,
and
I get back. But why sometimes I feel like maybe I would love to contradict with you is simply because how come that the biggest percentage of votes that the current regime that you're criticizing come from Busoga actually? Museveni passes from Busoga. That is undisputable for the last how many elections he has been in. Yes. Busoga gives him the biggest percentage. What is that unique thing that the Busoga are seeing in President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni?
You are right of that one, but you see, it's an historical problem.
Okay.
The people of Busoga, they don't participate. They don't participate in any activity that brings in change. Okay? But they are compliant with the sitting government.
That work is to comply.
Yes, to comply with the sitting government, whether they are considered or not. For them, they comply with the sitting government until few people organizes and bring another government and they shift. So that is the Busoga people. It is a historical problem.
It's a historical. I love the way you describe these people. That is a historical problem.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, I would like to say we have had these killings are continuing. I don't know, what does Uganda need to have all this right? But all the same, as we keep pushing hard left, right, center, we are going to be looking at a few things that we will be having as a nation. And still at the same time, my colleagues in the studio have said, let's not rush to judge and say ABCD, ABCD. Let's give these people time, but the bigger problems beyond just what we're imagining that are in the security sector that we need to work on and bid for us to have these issues of security wholesomely settled. Thank you so much for your contributions. I would like to say we're going to be handling something also briefly related about the Rwanda-Uganda bilateral talks. We have heard before that Uganda had a problem with Rwanda. Rwanda had a problem with Uganda. Actually, it made rounds that Ugandan president was planning to topple the Rwandese president, that is Paul Kagame. And the Paul Kagame gentleman, that is His Excellency of Rwanda, was also planning to do vice versa, to topple President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni using other allies. Now, that issue made rounds. It made very many different media houses go silent, to the level that some of the dailies had to be closed. Red Pepper actually, together with other related names of papers that come out of the company, had to be closed. Later on, people were arrested, property vandalized, blah, 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 blah. You know the whole story of what transpired. And after some time, after appearing in court very many times, these people were released. Yesterday, we witnessed the President of the Republic of Rwanda, that is His Excellency Paul Kagame, meeting the head of state of Uganda, that is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, at State House in Entebbe, in a courtesy visit that was believed to be the first of its kind ever since the rumor of the fights between the two countries came out into the limelight. Most of the things were rubbished, others were accepted, but the question we have here, what does this symbolize? I want to begin with my comrade Obo. Do you think this is going to change the face of the East African movement and all other related things?
To me, the visit of the Rwandese president to come down right here shows the kind of relationship that we've really had with this nation, and for this time that you see this ongoing rumor has been taking place. And if such a malicious rumor can pass to us and gets out to the media, who is there to benefit about it? We could also ask that question. Who benefits from this rumor that is going around? It cost some people their jobs, some people were arrested, some media houses were closed. But I really think if we focus on the big picture, it's of an advantage to us because what we are looking at is, remember there were some signings that we signed, there is the deals that will allow us to conduct trade with several other countries.
You can even go and marry from Rwanda without a problem.
Yes, you can actually go do these trade deals, come back with this, and it gives us an opportunity to work easily. There is free mobility of
you move without a passport.
We move without passports, no more blockings, national ID issues. So I actually think it's very good that he came here. However, I noticed one thing. There's a video making round on social media that, there's President Kagame arrives at State House and hands over his hand to the president. And the president holds there instead of the handshake. And everybody was saying the president has, his arm is rotting away, he's ill, he's sick. And some other people were saying, it's the Bahima way of greeting. You say an elder inviting a junior. So what I think about the president's state visit to us is it's going to open up more opportunities for us in this region.
Okay.
And surely this should translate into something that will help the communities, help us as a nation, and we should see results of his visit, and we should see results of the signing of these agreements. And surely, who doesn't want a nation that prospers?
Everyone. Beautiful there. Yes, to my comrade Moses, I know you've been following the trends of how even Red Pepper came to be closed because of this very story. But the good points towards this, and there are also bad points towards this. I would say for the business purposes, Red Pepper actually, when those people were arrested and put in, when they came out, the quality of that paper improved. Have you noticed it? It is now white. By then it was like Musana. So at least business-wise, it has awakened Red Pepper, and they have done something much better. But now, what does this mean to us as a nation? Do you think this is going to spur off a great economic trend, a great boost of everything? Okay, is this news to us, or this is a usual thing? Because we hear a rumor that Kagame used to be in Uganda. I don't want to say the other hard one, that he used to be in Uganda, because I know now for you, you're going to say, oh, they say Kagame is a Ugandan. I don't know those facts. Yes, for you guys in the corridors of power, you understand. They say he's a boy who grew up here, being East Africa, and at the same time, Museveni said also to have one time at least passed to Rwanda and lived there. So I would like to say to you, I want to inquire from you, is this new to Uganda? Should we count this like gold that has just come in, or these are usual stories that we should take? And before you get into that, first and foremost, do you think there was a disagreement between Uganda and Rwanda?
Yes, there was disagreement, and that disagreement is still going on.
But yesterday the president shook hands with, and they said, no, those are just rumors.
Of course, at that level, at the summit level, you can create a situation as a head of state, and you create a situation whereby, because in the problem we're having in East Africa is that the dominance problem, and who is superior, who is senior to the other, because they want to take East African community to another level. But before I go on that one, I want to take you to the internal issues. You see here in Uganda, all government parastatals and all key officials in the government offices are Rwandese.
Are you sure?
Yes, they are dominating.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I have evidence.
You have evidence?
Yes. One time I'll give you.
You mean Uganda, the major offices of parastatals are led by Rwandese?
Very influential officers across the country by that.
So are you indirectly trying to say that we have not yet gotten independence?
No.
Because we are being ruled by people from another country?
Some sort of neo-colonialism.
Our constitution, we consider them in our constitution.
We consider them?
We consider
okay.
them.
The other question I would like to ask you before you go any further, are you trying to say President Museveni is not a Ugandan? Because how can someone who is a Ugandan go and pick people who are from Rwanda to work for him?
For us in UYDP, we have carried out research about President Museveni as an individual.
As an individual, yes?
Yes, as an individual. So we researched about his age, we researched about...
So you know his age?
Yes. You remember we even organized a birthday
party
for him. That's why he was arrested in Masaka Central Prison for almost a month. So we know the gentleman we are talking about. So, but I don't want to go into details of his tribe, his relation to other countries. That one will be for another day. But for purposes of today, I would like to inform the audience that there are Rwandese who are holding very influential positions in Uganda, in the security, in the economy, in public service, talk each and everything. There are Rwandese here.
Okay.
We're positioned, by the way.
More than Ugandans?
Yeah, we're positioned more than Ugandans.
Moses.
So, in that scenario, President Museveni, he plays his card technically, because if you don't play your card technically, you can lose power, because these guys, they have surrounded him. He's now a hostage. For you don't know, but if you dig inside there, President Museveni is a hostage.
Are you sure?
He's a hostage.
He's not a free man.
He's not a free man. He's surrounded by guys who doesn't want him to step aside, because if he step aside, they have nowhere to go. So they keep him there is their symbol for their what? For their day-to-day living. Is the one who represents them. So they work hard to maintain his what? His stay in the State House. So for me, that vista I see it as you saw President Museveni trying to. Yeah, he dodged the handshake, the presidential handshake, and that nani, for him he used that thing as an excuse, but he's not sick. According to the information I have, he's not sick, but he dodged. He did not want to shake.
You guys have started investigating the president.
Because if you are an active politician, you have to
learn your opponent.
Yes, you have to read him. So he's not sick. That is the fact. But he wanted to use that thing as an excuse, not to shake the what?
The president.
His fellow counterpart. On ground that you see there are some gloves they are sold in Russia and Israel. Yes, you can put on a gloves with the actual chemicals which are very dangerous. And you can't see anything in the what?
In the gloves.
But in the hands, but when the chemicals are there. So Mr. President
he's sharp.
He sharpened that one. So he used that bandage to do what?
To camouflage like
he's camouflage that he's sick, but he's not sick. For your information, he's not sick. He wanted to just dodge that handshake because he knows Kagame also.
What is wrong with Kagame?
No, he knows him. They were together in Ruwero.
They're all tactical.
Yes, they are all tactical. They are all equipped with military ideas. They know how to eliminate at all levels. Yes.
You mean they eliminate even?
Yes, they know how to eliminate at all levels. So he used it as what? As
a camouflage.
Yes.
Just as you've heard from the man himself, he has given you his insight, and those are his views.
They are my views.
You've just heard him. He's saying he has his evidence, and he says they carried out research. They even had a birthday party as you did. All that, we'll leave it to you viewers, and I want to move ahead and say, actually, from our counterparts, we have heard both sides of the story. He is saying there has been a rift between these people, and it's real. And very many people out there, I know whoever is watching right now has the same mindset, because I've been hearing people in the corridors of power, they're saying, these guys are trying to camouflage. Red Pepper was right. There was something cooking somewhere. Others are saying, maybe Red Pepper wanted to sell the paper, but because of the fact that Red Pepper has always given those hard stories, they come out and they keep quiet, and later on the stories are released by other dailies. Very many people have gotten into deep love with some stories that Red Pepper always hints on. So just as you've heard from both parties, my comrade Obo is giving insight and saying, yeah, for both sides, there's a positive side and there's a negative side. The positive side is all about these agreements you're signing. You can go to Kenya, marry someone. You can go to Rwanda, marry the second, third, and fourth wife, and bring to Uganda. And even you, a man, they can take you and marry you in Rwanda. Yes, they give you a plot of land, you survive there, and life continues. So,
I want to interrupt you briefly. If you see the arrival of Kagame at the State House and the president, the receiving side dodged the what? The handshake. And if you see, because in the protocol, the president must be received by a beautiful young girl.
With flowers.
Yeah, and flowers. But yes, the girl was there. Even the flowers.
Yes.
But Kagame, the way Kagame handled that flower, it was tactical. For us, you analyze it.
But from the way Kagame picked the flowers, he picked it and handed it over to one of his security men.
Yes.
And the flowers were taken out.
You kiss it, and you kiss even the what?
And the little girl.
But that one never happened.
But how else?
It was a kangaroo.
But according to other people who analyze the handshake, they say that's the Bahima way of an adult acknowledging a junior in the area. So it didn't dodge the handshake. Actually, he held his wrist at this angle.
No, but it was an excuse.
all right. You've heard, and we leave you in the public to make what we call a public judgment. But all the same, they're dissecting on what is happening in the corridors of power. Now, there's this issue about the ginger elections. just in one minute, do you think that the results of the Ginger by-election, which saw Paul Mwiru fight back to get his seat, that he accused his colleague Nabet of cheating in the early time, do you think that the reverse of these results is actually a sign and a confirmation that the Kojji-Kwatako effect is taking course?
You see, I was the chief spokesperson of that campaign since it started, but...
Kojji-Kwatako?
No, the Ginger by-election.
Okay.
You are not around. But if you go to Ginger now, Ginger Town, it's like they have been in the war for almost 20 years. Ginger Town.
Ginger.
Yes. The level of infrastructure, actually on the election day, it rains the whole day. But the most commercial activity which went on in Ginger was the gumboots.
Buying gumboots and to go and vote.
Buying gumboots and umbrella. but gumboots for purposes of doing what? Of
walking.
Of walking. Because you cannot move in Ginger. The potholes, the what. Really, Ginger is like they have been in the war for almost 20 years without any kind of...
So it looks like Darfur?
Yes, it looks like Darfur or Central African Republic. So the Ginger residents, they are not from that level, start really trusting the NRM MPs representing them in Parliament. Then the second thing, the NRM candidate trusted the money. They trusted the money.
That money would vote?
Yes, and the police and the army. That was their strategy. And for us, we are very peaceful in our camp. We do not want any kind of provocation because we knew they would
bring the machinery.
Yes, and they arrest our influential people. By the time of the voting day, they will be in the what?
In cells.
In cells. Even if they arrested almost 60 people of our own, but we managed to do what?
To get them
But
out.
they trusted the money, they trusted the police and the army.
So they forgot the people?
Yes, for us we trusted the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What is your thought about the Ginger by-election? Do you think the Kojji-Kwatako, all guys who voted yes, the issue of the yes is now starting to act? Because very many people out there are saying 2023 or 20, when they take it to 2040, we shall never vote any NRM. Do you think it's taking course?
Kojji-Kwatako is surely having an effect out there because majority of us, the youth, our voices have been kept down. We voted for leaders who have not held themselves accountable while they come down to us asking for these votes. Once they raise up to the top, they lose that touch with us. The man comes in the village.
But they claim they become more patriotic when they go up.
They
Because
don't.
the president says some people are more patriotic.
They are actually so unpatriotic when they get to office. So what I would say in the Ginger by-election, the will of the people was prevailed, even in the heavy deployment of military, heavy trucks, police everywhere. The free will of the people was shown out there.
All right, I would like to say to all the viewers out there, thank you so much for being a part of the Record TV Daybreaker that began at exactly 8:30. And right now we are coming to the end of this show. I would like to say that it has been beautiful having you. We shall be back here tomorrow, same time, same station, with the same team, and we shall be dissecting more issues that will be coming in, more about the East African integration, what you need to know about East Africa, how we can benefit out of the East African integration, and our position currently in Africa as a continent. A very good morning.